Ethan Walsh was an adventurous traveler, always seeking out destinations most would shy away from. When he decided to visit North Korea, it wasn't out of recklessness, but a deep curiosity about a country cloaked in secrecy. What he didn't expect was that his trip would become a harrowing tale of survival and escape. Ethan arrived in Pyongyang on a grey October morning. His government-appointed guides, Ms. Lee and Mr. Cho, seemed friendly but firm, reminding him repeatedly of the strict rules. No wandering off, no unsanctioned photos, and no questioning the regime. The trouble began at the Mansu Hill Grand Monument, where Ethan joined his group in bowing before the towering statues of Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il. As he adjusted his camera to take a photo, his guide sternly reminded him the statues must be fully in frame, no cropping. Unintentionally, Ethan snapped a shot where part of one statue's head was cut off. The mistake might have gone unnoticed, but Ethan compounded it later at a gift shop, where he made an offhand comment about a propaganda poster. "These slogans are so over the top," he said with a chuckle. His guide's expression froze, and she quickly ushered him away. That evening, 2 uniformed officers knocked on his hotel room door. They demanded his camera and questioned him about his disrespectful behavior. Ethan's heart raced as they flipped through his photos, zeroing in on the cropped image. Ethan was taken to an ominous government building where he was interrogated for hours. The questions ranged from his views on North Korea to whether he was a spy. He realized the gravity of his situation when one officer stated, "Disrespecting our leaders is a serious crime. It undermines the dignity of our nation." Ethan tried to explain it was a mistake, but his words seemed to fall on deaf ears. For days, he was confined to a stark room with nothing but a cot and a dim light. Meals were sparse, and the isolation was crushing. During one interrogation, the officers told him he could face 15 years of hard labor unless he confessed and expressed genuine remorse. Ethan's mind raced. He had read about tourists who had been detained for similar offenses and knew how easily things could spiral out of control. Ethan decided to take a different approach. He began speaking with reverence about the country, praising the beauty of Pyongyang and expressing admiration for the discipline of the North Korean people. He wrote a formal apology letter, carefully crafting each word to convey deep regret and respect for their leaders. But his efforts backfired. The authorities dismissed his apology as insincere. His guides, Ms. Lee and Mr. Cho, began avoiding eye contact, and the interrogations grew harsher. Ethan overheard one officer mention transferring him to a labor camp within the week. He realized his time was running out. Desperation led Ethan to contemplate the unthinkable: escape. Through observation, he learned the guards' schedules and noticed a weak point in security near the kitchen area of the building where he was held. One night, under the cover of darkness, Ethan made his move. He waited until the guard, patrolling his hallway, took his scheduled break. Using a metal spoon he had hidden, Ethan pried open the lock on his window, a task that took days of effort and left his hands bloodied. The window led to a narrow alley outside the compound. Once outside, Ethan sprinted through the darkness, keeping low to avoid being seen. His heart pounded as he navigated the maze-like streets of Pyongyang, relying on dim streetlights and his memory from the guided tours. Ethan's luck ran out when he encountered a military checkpoint near the outskirts of the city. The guards were questioning drivers and pedestrians, their flashlights sweeping over faces. Ethan panicked, ducking into a shadowy alley. A dog barked nearby, drawing attention to his hiding spot. The guards approached, their boots echoing ominously. Ethan spotted a stack of crates and climbed over a fence into a delivery truck yard. He found a truck with its engine running and quickly crawled into the back, hiding beneath a tarp. The truck rumbled to life moments later, leaving the checkpoint behind. Ethan held his breath as guards inspected the truck at another checkpoint, but didn't search the back. Hours into the ride, Ethan realized the truck wasn't heading toward the Chinese border as he had hoped. Instead, it was heading deeper into the countryside. When the vehicle stopped at a rural factory, Ethan knew he had to act quickly. Under the cover of night, he slipped out of the truck and found himself in the wilderness. With no map, no supplies, and only the stars to guide him, Ethan trudged toward the border, which he estimated was several miles away. The border was heavily guarded, but Ethan had one advantage: a shallow river that ran parallel to the checkpoint. Exhausted and half-frozen, he waded through the icy water, staying low to avoid detection. At one point, a spotlight swept over him, and he froze, his body submerged in the freezing river. The guards didn't notice him, and he continued moving until he crossed into Chinese territory. Collapsing on the riverbank, Ethan wept with relief. Chinese locals found him and alerted authorities, who contacted the U.S. Embassy. Ethan's ordeal became a media sensation after his safe return home. He detailed the harrowing experience in interviews, emphasizing the sheer terror of being trapped in a country where a minor mistake could mean a lifetime of suffering. Though his escape left physical and emotional scars, Ethan's story served as a warning to others. In some places, curiosity comes at a steep price, and survival often requires extraordinary resilience and a willingness to risk everything.